Hey everyone, well, I'm back because I knew you missed me. Here it is on Tuesday, and you know what Tuesday starts with? Starts with the letter T. You know what else starts with the letter T? Not tacos, although it is Taco Tuesday. TotWaffles. Yes, yes, I'm gonna do it. I saw the little viral Twitter thread a while back, and I just thought that would be funny, and I thought, hey, what if you actually tried that? It doesn't sound half bad. So I'm here, I'm gonna try it so you don't have to. Um, so I've got a few supplies out. I've got my sandwich maker with the waffle inserts. We're gonna use that. I'm just gonna grab a few of my ingredients and some utensils and we will get started. All right, so I just sprayed my irons with the cooking spray just for nonstick. They're already nonstick, but what's a little extra nonstick, right? And then I grabbed out, of course, my tots. And I've let them thaw out in the fridge just so that they wouldn't be cooking from frozen. I thought they might get cooked more evenly. And I think even in the video, she mentioned something about thawing them out or defrosting them or what have you. So I thought that would be an easier way to go. Already prepped on that. And then of course, later we're gonna have to have dipping sauce, right? So the recipe calls for syrup chup, right? Because is it a tot? Is it a waffle? It's a tot waffle. And if you think I'm saying something bad, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. I said tot waffle, tater tots in a waffle iron. Anything else, that's on you. So I've got my syrup and I got my ketchup, which is almost empty, but that's cool. I got some tongs, got some other stuff, so we are good to get started once this is preheated. And it shouldn't take too long, so I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab out my tots. My waffle iron seems to be all preheated. I think we're good to go here. So I'll make it so that you can hopefully see. Ooh, there it is. So what she did in the video, she just kind of laid them all out on here. So you can see, I'm just kind of putting one per square, per waffle square. You know, like the little indents, right? Not the entire waffles. I don't quite know, I'll just do them. It's a 4x4 waffle. So I'll do 4 tots by 4 tots. For those of you keeping track at home, that's 16, 4x4, just like a truck. And then yeah, so I'm just gonna pop these all in and then we'll see what happens. So I've got one set down here just about. There we go. And I've aligned them all like vertically. I don't know if that makes a difference. Maybe I'll do the other side sideways. I don't know. I'm gonna see if that would even work. So they're all in this way, but I'm thinking maybe I can put them in this way in row. I'm gonna do that and see what happens. So I will pause you and I'll be right back after these messages. I did one row, like I said, vertically, and I got 16. And then I did one row like horizontally, and I was only able to get 15. So there you go, fun fact. Depending on your orientation, you may not get as many tots per waffle. So anyway, so here goes the big squish coming down. We're gonna close that up. And I don't know if I'll be able to squish it all the way for the latch here. Oh, it is. Okay, so now it cooks. And I guess I'll just wait a few minutes because I don't have the little light timer. Plus it's not designed for tots, it's designed for waffle batter. So we'll see. I'll just kind of play it by ear. I'll check it again in a few minutes. And yeah, we'll be right back. Hi, and welcome back to Making It So You Don't Have To. Tot Waffle edition. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead while this is going and make the syrup chup. So it's basically a 1-to-1 ratio. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just do like, I don't know, maybe like 1/4 cup of each. That's probably gonna be too much, but I don't know. And then you heat it just to make it, I think, fluid. Anyway, so I'm gonna do that. 1 second. Okay, so anyway, so I just mixed up the syrup chup. So I ended up doing 1/3 cup. And I just kind of split it in half because I didn't want to make a ton of it. So anyway, so you can see. So I'm gonna heat that up for a few seconds in the microwave. I'm hoping that's just steam coming out of the thing. So yeah, you know, that's always fun and exciting, right? Not actually, no, I don't need that kind of excitement in my life. Nobody needs that kind of excitement in their life right now. right? We want to keep things super chill. Anyway, so here's my mixture, and I'm going to microwave that for a few. Give it a stir, and that'll be ready for us, because I think this should be almost ready. It should take, I don't know, they say it takes 5 to 10 minutes in the oven. I think, or actually, I guess grand total cooking time is like 10 to 15 minutes if you do it in your oven. So I'm kind of going by that guideline. So I can pop this in the microwave. All right, so I have my hot stuff. I also have the super cool Nutella spife. It's not a spork, it's not a spoon, it's not a knife, it's a spife. So I'm just gonna use that to stir. I smell it. It's an interesting smell. It's kind of ketchup-y, but a little bit sweet. It's fairly runny consistency. So I suppose you could always modify it to your taste if you find it too syrupy tasting or too ketchup-y tasting. It almost sounds like tomato soup, actually. So yeah. Anyway, that's cool. So that's there. That's a nice runny connection. Runny connection? Sorry, my son was talking about the internet connection, and then that just went in my brain. Anyway, that's okay. That's a little blooper. I'm going to leave that in for your enjoyment. So yeah, so it's fairly runny, pretty watery, but that's cool. So we're going to leave that because I microwaved it for like 30 seconds. So it might even be a little bit on the too hot side if I wanted to eat it right now. So let's check on our tots. Pop over here. So it looks like they're probably not quite ready, actually. They still look pretty wet. So I'm going to let them go for a few more minutes, and then I'll check them, and then we'll check back in with you. So yeah, hang tight. All right, so it's been a little while. So I'm going to have a look because it's been about 10-15 minutes, which is about as long as they should take in the oven at 450 Fahrenheit, if you're keeping track. And I don't know what that is in Celsius. You can Google that. Anyway, so it's very hot temperature, not for a very long time, but I'm pretty sure that this machine doesn't get that hot. So it probably makes sense that it would take longer. There also seems to be a lot of moisture content in the tot itself. The interior of the tot is quite moist. Moist tots, right? So they're quite steamy. You know, of course, the outside is going to be the crispy, but the inside is quite wet. So I don't know if cooking them from frozen might also be better. I don't know, at that high heat for the short time, maybe that somehow gives them that extra crispiness. Anyway, we're gonna do the big reveal. I kind of cheated. I might have had a little peeky poo in between, but I thought it's been long enough, realistically. Like if you're waiting for your tots, you want your tots, right? So let's have a look. I'm gonna unplug it though, for safety's sake. There we go. All right, so here we go. Drum roll, please. So you can see it's a little bit messy. It also could have probably more to do with user error. I probably should have put more nonstick spray on it. I also feel like probably the longer you cook it, maybe like that crispiness would somehow maybe make it less sticky. Anyway, the other thing that I'm thinking as I look at it, I'll bring you over here. Probably should have squished them together closer. You can see on these ones that had more space, they're more like individual tots. Whereas these ones were a little bit closer together, and so they became more waffle squished together. So I actually have a few left over, so I might even try another batch of them and just maybe cram in more, like actually fill, like maybe so it's like overflowing. And then see if that gives me a better waffle texture. This side looks more promising than this side though. So if you're making these at home, don't do them sideways. Do them up and down. And I have a feeling do them more together. So actually I might try a round two, because what else am I gonna do, right? So yeah, maybe I'll try that and I'll get this cleaned up and go for round two. So stay tuned. This is to be continued. See, this is why I'm doing this, so you don't have to, right? See what fun I'm having? Also want to give a shout out, Strange Planet, Nathan Kyle Comics, yeah, The Beings, yeah, right? Comics, they're rad. I post them, share them rather. His little cartoons of his little beings, they're so relatable. Gotta love them. Anyway, so yeah, I don't even care that I'm making a mess right now, because that's what I'm here for, so that you guys don't have to make the mess, and you don't have to clean up the mess, which I think is more important. Making the mess is no big deal, right? That's the easy part. Cleaning it up, that's the stupid part. Yeah, anyway, so here we go. So I've got my thing preheated, and I put on more spray, sticky spray stuff. And unfortunately, I've run out of tots before I could finish both sides, but I figured this would at least be a better representation of getting them maybe close together. So I tried to squish them together more. So we'll see how this attempt goes. So I'll see you in about, I don't know, I'll time it, 10, 15 minutes. Alrighty. All right, I'm back. So this is still cooking. I just thought that while we're waiting, I wanted to point out, I tasted the syrup chup and I felt like it was too much ketchup, which I was surprised. So I went ahead and added a little bit more maple syrup. So we'll see, I'll give it another taste test in a bit. And I was not double dipping, in case anyone was wondering. I also did not use this spoon, lick it and stick it back in. I did not do that, please. That's just gross. And that's not food safe. I also washed my hands many times, and I washed the counter many times. So we're very clean. Also want to give a shout out to Ada Powers, whose Twitter feed is what I saw this original recipe, if you will, on. I just popped up on my Facebook one time. And so yeah, Ada, ADA, Powers, just like power. And so yeah, so she's got a whole Twitter thing if you want to check her out. You know, there might be some other cool stuff on there. Anyway, this was the one thing that stood out to me. So here we are. So thank you, Ada Powers, wherever you may be. I hope you're well. I'm having a cookie. It's Easter cookie. You guys doing anything for Easter? I'm eating a cookie. I just bit his head off. That's fine, right? Got sprinkles on it. Okay, so here we are. So this was take 2. They've been cooking for 20 minutes. I timed it, which is like almost twice as long as they would take in the oven. I haven't looked at it. That was another thing I did different. So a couple things I did was I squished them closer together, and I also didn't cheat and look at it while it was cooking. So I just set it and left it and didn't forget about it, but I timed it. So like I said, it's been 20 minutes completely closed, just as you see here. So the reveal, which we're going to be having in just a moment, is going to be a first for me as well as for you. We're going to share this moment together. So I hope it's a lot of fun. So yeah, still steamy. So yeah, still a lot of that moisture content. So let's see what happens here, shall we? Yeah, okay. So this turned out a lot better. I'll get you a close up here. I'm going to bring you over. Yeah, this turned out way better. So I put more nonstick spray on the top and the bottom. Again, like I say, I squished them closer together. So yeah, so these ones were the only ones that kind of got a little stuck, probably because there wasn't as much spray on that part of the plate. But the rest of it, that looks more like a waffle to my knowledge of waffles. Anyway, so I'm gonna scoop it out and let it cool off, and then we're gonna try it with our new slightly more syrup chup. Oh, that rhymed. All right, so I have a taste tester here, Michael. And so he's gonna be our first tester on the TotWaffle with syrup chup. He's a little unsure about the ketchup and syrup combination, so we'll see what happens. What do you think? Verdict? It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so there we go. Verdict number 1, it's fine. Oh, he's eating the other piece. That's cool. Yet. I'm hungry and this is tolerable. It's tolerable. It's fine and it's tolerable. I think from a teenager, I'd say that's pretty high praise. Thank you, Michael. And this is how it looked on the plate. And then my sauce. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and try it. So let me just cut off a little piece here. I'll take kind of a chunk of it. So, you know, it looks like a waffle, right, from afar. I'll try it with a little of my sauce here. I'll just drizzle, a little drizzle, you know. It's all about the plating and the presentation, right? No, not really. Not in my world. So there we go. Got a little drippy drip there. And yeah, so here we go. Yeah, it's good. The tots are really crunchy. I also kind of got an edge piece, so it's probably a little bit extra crunchy, like a brownie. If you got a middle piece, it'd probably be slightly less crunchy. So I'm gonna try that actually. I'm gonna go for a middle piece here. And then, so Julia, you can try one as well. You can actually come in the shot here with me.
Are they good?
And then you have to have some of the sauce.
I don't want some of the sauce.
No, you have to, no, that's part of the deal is you have to have it with the sauce.
I didn't agree to the sauce.
Yes, you have to have it. Julia,
Sauces.
you have to have the sauce.
Don't have to have the
Yeah,
sauces.
you do. That's part of it because it's funny. It's tater tot sauce. You're actually not on the camera. Do you want to say hi to the folks back home?
Sauces.
Just try it and then let's get your reaction. In the meantime, I'm going to try my centerpiece. I'm just going to dip right in there. Yeah, still crunchy. Obviously, you get more the soft part.
Not my favorite, but they're pretty good.
It's not her favorite, but it's pretty good. So that works.
Yes.
That works. Thank you for trying. So yeah, it's good. I think it might be a matter of finding the right balance also of the sauce. Like I did say, I added a little bit more of the syrup. And it probably depends on the kind of ketchup you use because we've used Heinz and then we also use French's and they both taste different. So my cat just jumped on the chair because I don't have a tripod today. So that's why there was a little earthquake right there. It was a greasy quake. And that was Sabrina complaining. Anyway, so yeah, and then, you can alter the sauce to your liking, like whatever kind of ketchup you like, and then how much, syrup versus ketchup ratio. So I would almost say it needs a little bit more syrup, but I kind of like that sweetness to it, which is kind of interesting. I wouldn't have thought that about myself. I learned something today about myself and syrup and ketchup. Having said all that, final reactions. It's a long time and kind of a lot of work to make tater tots, really. If you want to do it for the novelty and the fun of it, just to do something kind of wacky, then that's cool. And you have a waffle maker or whatever. But otherwise, I think you're better off just making them in the oven. Because it is shorter, they're going to turn out crispy, and you don't have to worry about how many you're putting in the grates and whatnot. So I'm too tall for my lamp. So it's fun. It was cool. Had fun trying it, and the sauce was interesting. I kind of like actually the sauce. You could almost use that as a dipping sauce for other stuff, like if you just made regular tots or even fries, like the French fries or what have you. Anything that you would use ketchup for. And actually the maple syrup was kind of a cool little touch too. So I probably wouldn't do this adventure again, but I would make tots, and I might even consider making the sauce, if I was feeling that adventurous. Otherwise, just ketchup is always a good old standard go-to, right? So yeah, I give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching. I tried it, so no, you don't have to. If you have any other suggestions for things that you'd like me to try, maybe things you've seen online, things that you've heard about, things that you've come up with, let me know. Send me a comment, send me a message, whatever. But don't make it something that's like super gross, like, like those desserts from the 1960s, and it's like Jell-O with bologna and bananas and then with like a mayonnaise topping. Yeah, don't send me stuff like that because not happening. But I've got something else kind of up my sleeves, and they're short sleeves, so I don't have a lot up them, but I've got maybe one or two things up them. So there you go. So yeah, so you can watch for another installment of I'll Make It So You Don't Have To. And I hope you had fun. I did. So yeah, see you around.